Hello, thanks for clicking this video. This is Wine Story and I'm Jay. Today I'm going to talk about global warming on wine. These days it's hard not to mention global warming when it comes to wine because it's a serious issue. If I try the old vintage wine and more recent vintage wine, in some regions I can taste enormous differences. Generally more body, more tropical fruit characteristics in white wines, and fuller body and dark fruit characteristics in red wines. Worst case, it shows lack of natural acidity and too cooked or jammy taste without any freshness. Nonetheless, depending on the region, global warming can be a blessing. They call this a good problem. It is a problem, but still for their wine growing, it's very helpful. For instance, in northern France such as Alsace, Champagne, Loire, grapes now have optimal ripeness with a lot warmer climates and have less problems with frost and disease. And now Germany gains a lot more reputation of their wine and bright future of it, since it is in a cool climate but warm enough for premium grape varieties in a place like Moselle. Even Netherlands and Sweden now can grow grapes for wine. However, especially in southern France, global warming is not only harmful to grapes but even to human lives. Whenever severe heat wave happens, when people lose their lives. And the problem is that these heat waves are likely to happen more often, considering what's been developed so far. So how does global warming affect vineyards? In some of the regions where they had issues with fungal diseases or pests, those problems can be dissolved well, because these prosper in humid conditions and strong sunlight can crush them. Problem is the region where it is already too warm. It's likely like barbecuing the grapes. Well, it can be actually nice to try when you barbecue your meat. Anyway, if the grapes get excessive heat, they stop producing sugar and even burn by heat. And if there's no cooling effect, grapes can easily lose their natural acidities, which makes wine far from fresh taste. Also, it can cause a water stress, so vines might get chlorosis and need irrigation where it wasn't needed. In the worst case, vines can even die. Also, a sad occasion happened last year. Winemakers in Germany couldn't produce any ice wine for 2019 vintage. This has never happened since they had started to make ice wine. Of course, next year might be different, but if it continues like this, maybe in the future, we might not be able to even taste most of wines from the earth. So what people do to cope with these issues? Winemakers choose different grape varieties which are more adaptable to heat. For instance, Bordeaux grows more of a Spanish, Portuguese grape varieties, which are already proven to be resistant to the heat. Especially Bordeaux produces a lot of Merlot, and this one is particularly susceptible for climate change. I had a chance to listen to winemakers from there, and most of them reduced the blending ratio of Merlot and start to grow Cabernet Franc or different grape varieties more. In southern Rhone, many consider or start to add more white wine in the red wine for blending. This way, red wine keeps white wine's acidity, also gets more complexity. Moreover, winemakers and grape growers seek more cooler climate zones, which means they move northerly in North Hemisphere, and opposite in a counterpart. But this costs a lot, and it takes time to grow vines, and they need a long time to adapt to the soil and environment. Also, we can't forget the people work in vineyards. Many wineries shorten the hours of workers and let them finish the work before noon from early morning. And work rotation is more often, so workers can have enough breaks. Global warming influences wine dramatically, so winemakers are trying to adapt to it. But apart from wine, and even just for the safety of people, it's important to keep the earth healthy and cool. That was it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching my video and I'll see you next time.